Hello everybody, this is Spirelli. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. I think Kim and I are standing in the exact same spot, which makes for this horrid three-legged person with, come on, stick out your arm again. Boring, why thank you, welcome. I just wanted him to stick out his arm again. No, can just look around. He's not doing it. Fine. So, oh, this is further than I usually have it. I think there was an arm. There's the arm. I'm bored. Yes, I'm gonna do something right about now. We have to do an autopsy. Man, when the game's hating on you.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Okay. Let's get in there and clap my gloved hands.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
I love Kim. Alright.
I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes?
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red autopsy form in my ledger.
That's right.
Yeah, we got this. We're smart.
That's what I keep saying. Smart. Open my ledger, the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
Begin. First assistant.
That's you.
Right. Harry Dubois.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says...
2. Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
Is 0815 in English, and I'm really unsure, but also a number for a very standard thing? Wow. Okay, I quickly looked it up, but I don't seem to find something. But basically, if you say in my mother tongue 0815, it means a very standard, average, kind of basic thing. I don't know where it stems from. I failed to look that up. It's just like they put this number in there on purpose because to me it's kind of like saying like, oh yeah, this is just your average, corpse that was hanged on a tree that's been hanging there for 8 days and has really expensive armor on. Just your very basic standard 0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi.
Oh.
57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene.
Yeah.
He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
Okay. That's fine. I don't know whether they're aware or not when they put this in.
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
But, my initials are clear. I'm Harry Dubois. Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
HDB 41 0803. Help me out with the time of day, anyone? 10:15. It's understated.
I don't know whether I should trust my drama part. 803. Sure.
Good. Let's go with that.
Okay, so I said HDB, Harry Dubois, 41st District Precinct. That's what it is. I arrived on the same date, but I arrived later. 10:15 is after. I don't know. Anyway, name.
NA. Next.
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
Can go for I'm gonna write 42. Right, roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook. Teeming with opportunistic microorganisms, letting out a foul-smelling diamine compound. Your eyes turn watery.
6th, rate.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Well, let's write that down then.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
What about sex?
Fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Wow, I can write any of what these three people just said, but I'm a serious cop, so male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
Right, March 4th, 51.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
HDB 41 0803.1015 listens motionless with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
11th, evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Not sure, didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then,
So he's talking about Kim placing his hand on a dead man's chest if in preparation. So let's see what it was in preparation for.
We should start the post-mortem.
Okay, turn the page.
the corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Okay, let's start in the beginning. External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
Turns the body on its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Aw, write it down.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Okay.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
I think I already opted in for that. When am I gonna get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity after the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
Of course, let's omit the boots. You gotta do some crazy shit. I mean, we got drugs for a 12-year-old last time, so this isn't the worst we've done.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
I forgot about the serial number. Because remember last time we called into the precinct and we were like, hey, tell us more about the serial number. So, I don't know how they're gonna feel about us being like, yeah, there was a serial number, but there's no armor. He's not wearing any armor. No, I don't know what you're talking about. And I have to write down the serial number.
Tattoos.
Arkham sends out feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern. Baldness.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write it down. Low velocity.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid, though while it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Okay. Yeah, I'm prepared, pet the chain cutters.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Okay, good thing we got these chain cutters. Pull out the rubber gripped cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope screening the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
Sure.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there, steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Okay, so that gave me +3. So I have a high chance of getting there now, so let's just try and cut the belt off and ignore Kuno.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press down.
Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
Lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there is a gap.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Okay, write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
Scarring is extensive, way more than a law official's.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Let's write it down.
Last item. Hands.
He takes the man's right hand in, inspecting it, and moves on to the other hand. I'm really good at this. This is where I have a lot of I'm gonna pick up the hand, I'm gonna help.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids, like it's ready to explode if squeezed hard enough. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so you feel compelled to drop it.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Let's write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination. Summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
No.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Writing it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaw. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaw. The mouth snaps shut before you. Okay, write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Next to the corpse's stomach was a mixture of tiredness and disgust.
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Am I an expert in those things?
Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to having forensic expertise on either one.
So I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Right, an A.
Same for toxicology and serology.
Both.
An A, unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
Maybe?
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
Right, an A.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Okay.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. Looks around to the ground to the pool of faces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the cup loaded lower upon him briefly. Write it down, omitting the voila.
What's next on the list?
And 3. Description of injury. Summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Okay. Number 1. Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Write it down.
And your opinion, officer?
Oh, my opinion. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Okay, again, non-fatal post-mortem.
Right. Next?
What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Okay. So then let's do ligature marks and finish the autopsy.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Okay, that's the fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
Okay, first, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
So what now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
What about a copy of the autopsy pages?
For processing.
Looks at that man one more time, then the slip of red paper in his hand, then at a corpse again.
You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
So I can search the body one more time thoroughly, but it has a -1 because stop wasting your time, you're smart, and also establish probable cause. Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, loony rooney.
Really
Come
what's
back
wrong with that?
later, coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible.
Mate, come on.
Also, see me in your dreams.
I'm looking forward to it. That's probably gonna happen in the night, isn't it? Really low, but 3%. It's a chance. There's a chance I have enough to counter whatever bad this does. So let's look at it really thoroughly.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
I can look into his pants or look into his fingernails like King already did. But I mean, it's failed, right? I'll look under his fingernails like Kim already did.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
No, let's just leave it to the processing guys.
I worked as one of those processing guys for a year. They are butchers and clowns. I once saw 20 CODs go misidentified in 1 week. Chances are slim to none that they'll find anything useful in processing. In short, you and I are the last line of detection. if you're not sure we got everything, we need to look again. And for that, we need to refrigerate the corpse.
Where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
An absolutely colossal fridge, still plugged in, literally in the shape of an ice bear.
Yes. Now, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Okay, we did it. Fridge the victim's body. Once you're done with it, I can send it to processing. Carl is back in a day. I think it has not happened yet. Fill it up. I have one spot. But there's none of these that I want to go for, so. Perception. See, hear, and smell everything. Smell everything. And no detail go unnoticed. Or more trivia knowledge. I don't really want more drama. Master machines, pick locks and pockets. Sneak under the nose. I don't know. Hand-eye coordination. I'll do that in case somebody throws something at me again. Can I go in here? Need to get to that fridge, but I think this goes up to the apartment building. Does it? No, it goes down to the fridge. Wonderful. There it is.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
So what do you think of this fridge game? It looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
Well, you suggested it.
Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
Yeah, me too.
You have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
Behold, you have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
Talk of the ice bear sarcophagus must not leave this room.
This isn't police work, Kim. It's art. We're artists, and this was our vision.
If I were an artist, this would certainly not be my vision. I would be much, much more conservative in my work.
He's right. His work would be much more formal.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting. Why does art inspire you so much?
It does, yes, but what is art?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Would I fit into the art world? I mean...
Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
Guess I have been feeling critical lately.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
Wait, but don't I have to be 100% cop to get the case finished and all that?
Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive and camp aesthetic now? Strike a bold shape here. Go art or go home.
Okay, I'm going to be 50% art critic. If that's what it needs to be to free me from rote repetition, so be it.
Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery,
Yeah.
the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world.
Equally important.
Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble. Aces high. For the rest of the world, the aces high is just a cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades, and those cargo pants could store tools for hotfixing your aerostatic. Maybe you should ask him about this.
So this I got when we high-fived. And I now have 1 empathy towards Kim Kitsuragi, which is really nice because I have 1 base empathy, so basically my empathy level towards him doubled. And then 1 esprit de corps. Apparently a topic for him to talk about. Actual art degree. Gives me minus in perception right now, so let's first check whether I have anything to increase my perception. I don't. And it's on 4. So you know what? For now, let's do this. It just means that I should not currently look at the corpse. But hey Kim, let's chat.
Yes?
Oh. I mean, there were topics where it said like, ooh, you should talk to Kim about it, but it's not options. Okay. I'm gonna come back later because I need to get those boots anyway. It's probably gonna be harder to be like, ooh, apparently somebody else took them, not me. But, that is the life of a criminal cop. Let's go inside. I think we haven't really talked to them a lot. Okay. They're still there.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Are you the hardy girl?
I am not.
You could be, Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
Okay, maybe we'll talk later. Let me, put away that Motorix physique. Yeah.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Titus does not look particularly happy to see you. Okay, I want to talk about the hanging again.
Again. Just get the dead guy's autograph, since you're his biggest fan.
Good one, Titus.
How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
The lieutenant goes in for the leg sweep. Titus does not see it coming.
We... Look. I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
Mr. Tats, what do you use to knock out the victim?
My fucking elbow, Copper. Samaran boxing style.
He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details.
Where did all this action take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man, weren't you listening?
Okay, let's try. Things aren't quite right here, are they?
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But
Who's cracking under the pressure? Oh, this one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation so far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. Hey you, turn to the big guy. You having trouble breathing over there?
No.
He looks up, startled. His white shiny from sweat. A few coiled lips are poking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
Okay, something you're not telling me.
And fuck you too, copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Okay, I have another question.
Like what, copper?
Murdered him just like that. No remorse.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Says it were worse than dying. Yeah, but these were all bad people, criminals, the scum of the earth.
Rest assured, lawman. None worse than our guy. He got what was coming to him.
No more questions.
About fucking time.
I really can't establish authority. Oh. Do I have anything? Can I... I'm definitely wearing some things that give me -2 authority. Yeah, these ones. Oh, and the shirt. Anything that could give me authority? No. But it's still much better now.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Yeah, I just changed my outfit a bit. Authority 0, it's still very low. Okay, so that didn't help, and I'm gonna take that chance. Cannot talk to them individually. Guess I should pay for a room.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight?
Got the 20 real?
Yes.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need Another 20 real tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye. Did that. Guess nothing new here.
You see,
And nothing new with him.
the man ponders his cooking utensil.
No. What about you, lady? You're nice.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me, how might I make it up to you?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Wait, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
Ah, why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover.
Okay, albeit, has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
She glances out the window toward the bay.
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often lead to something interesting.
What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
The water lock. That was broken. Could this be it?
The water lock on the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
You may not believe it, but it looks like some maniac crashed his motor carriers into it.
Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you both.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
Yeah, if I see him, I'll let him know you're here. When or if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What is cryptozoology? What is cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless. And frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
The quality of research at Revacholian universities has been on the decline, but you doubt there was ever a time when cryptozoology was embraced by the academic elite.
Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, your relationship.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin.
What does he look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
You can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband, you'll need more concrete information.
Okay, let's try again. Why don't you try to describe him as you would one of your cryptids?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did the two of you meet?
Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced. We hit it off and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
Okay, so that's all the information I need. Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
Okay. I don't want to share that I have no knowledge or understanding of the world, since I'm tasked with saving her husband. I also don't want to hear about these animals right now, so let's just briefly ask him about the phone line and then end this.
Can I help you?
I saw another thing at the whirling.
Another thing? Great. I love those.
Yeah, the phone line's dead.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers.
That's pretty strange.
It's not strange, it's inconvenient.
Is it true that there was foul play?
Who told you that?
I would never disclose my sources. That would be dishonorable.
Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill. Yes?
Okay. That wasn't insightful. But anyway, let's end it here for now. We are actually processing. I just need to keep track of what I need to do. I think I need to talk to the dude from the balcony once it's late enough. Once it's even later, I need to go and try and steal the boots. I think Kuno said something about talking to the two old men who played the balls in, like, the crater. So that's something to check out. Yeah, tons to do. I don't think we'll ever get bored. Need to pick up some money so I can pay my rent tomorrow. I mean, I was buying the game, which is more important, really. Tomorrow I can call the number and I can pick up my dice, my die, and yeah, lots to do. Thank you so much for joining in for Time Part, and yeah, I'm gonna see you soon with more.